Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy Grip and Rip Sports Cards back here with another video for you guys today. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about PSA buying SGC and what it means for us card collectors now and in the future. So before we get into that, thank you so much for joining me on this video today. Can we get a minimum of 100 likes on today's video? As that is the best way you can help me grow this channel is by hitting that like button to show your support for all the content that we do make here on a daily basis. And speaking of growing the channel, we are doing a giveaway. We're giving away hobby packs of baseball cards at 8,000 subscribers. All you have to do to enter is be publicly subscribed, like this video, turn on the post notifications for all the content you see on the channel, and last but certainly not least, leave a comment in the comment section on what you're looking forward to this baseball season in 2024, and I will pick the winner once we hit 8,000 subscribers. So there's that. And of course, my last thing I'm going to say is the Purely podcast is available now. So if you missed my big announcement, we have a podcast ran by me, Purely Baseball, and the 3-0 Greenlight. If you want to watch our first episode, it is down in the link in the description below. We're going to make a bunch of content, a bunch of videos weekly, not every day, of course, but at least 3 or 4 videos a week and everything like that. So hopefully you guys do enjoy that. And now let's get into the topic at hand in today's video. So I will start out with this. I have a special guest with me today, which is my brother. So, I will say this. You'll see him a lot in the future. I will say this right now. When Topps acquires the football license, we are going to do football videos. And this guy right here can tell you a lot more than I ever could when it comes to football and that stuff. So, today, I guess this is a trial video, I guess, for him, even though he's been on a video, I think, how many times? One other time, 2 other times? 1 other time, 2 other times, whatever. So, either way, you're gonna get a whole lot more of my brother probably next year when football goes to Topps, which I believe is in 2025, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But either way, I was going to make a video today on Big League, but my brother convinced me otherwise to say, you know what, this is the bigger video to talk about, let's do this instead. Because believe it or not, there is new Big League information. I'll kind of give you a little spoiler alert. They had it up for pre-order, and literally like a minute later, they took it down. For whatever reason, I don't know, but we'll get to that tomorrow. We'll talk all about that tomorrow. But either way, let's get into the topic at hand. So yesterday, literally minutes after I got done recording yesterday's video, I go on Twitter and Facebook. All card Twitter and Facebook is blowing up. SGC was bought by PSA, right? And I was like, wow, this is actually a pretty big announcement. Of course, PSA, the biggest card company, grading company in the world, and the second biggest card company in the world, SGC, has now been bought by PSA. So let's ask you, what does this mean?
Well, I mean, you look at it on, surface level, and you look at how much PSA charges and how much SGC charges. Now, if you aren't familiar with that and you don't grade your cards and you're probably just like one of us who just likes ripping and collecting, this is what you need to know. SGC has an entry fee at $15 for a 5 to 10 day turnaround on any cards you grade, $1,500 or less in value. But when you go over to PSA, you're looking at $25 at your entry level grading. And what else? This is what, gets people, and what sometimes would say, this is why I grade with SGC and I don't grade with PSA, is they are a 55 days minimally longer when it comes to your turnaround and getting your cards back in your hands. So the big thing is, does this create a monopoly? So I'm going to ask Grip and Rip, does this, create a monopoly when the biggest company like PSA goes and acquires its competition?
Absolutely. I mean, it has to. You look at, do you have the percentages by chance on you of the?
You're looking at least 90%. You have CGS that has, maybe 7% of the cornerstone in the hobby. And then Beckett, who, Beckett, if you would ask people 10 years ago, what's the percent of Beckett and how many cards are getting graded by them on a daily basis, it would be hard to believe that right now Beckett is sitting at around 5% of cards getting graded through their company. So now you're sitting here and you're looking at not Topps, but PSA owning about 90% of all major card grading services. So, what does that do when it comes to, how these people are held accountable and what that means when these people have practically all control? I mean, we see this with Topps. We've seen how it's like sometimes when they have all the rights to certain sports and how sometimes it could actually not really work out in the collector's favor that these companies don't have competition. What's your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. PSA damn near had a monopoly to begin with. Damn near. Now they definitely bought out their competition. I mean, what are the other companies? BGS, right?
BGS, that would be.
I mean, they don't hold a candle. They don't hold a candle to them.
CGS.
And CGS don't hold a candle to them. If you combine PSA and what's the other company? I just literally draw a blank.
PSA, you have SGC.
Yeah, PSA and SGC. I get all these freaking initials mixed up, right? But when you have these two companies and they merge into one, that obviously monopoly. 90% of the hobby grading service is a monopoly. That is no doubt about it. I don't like how they say, and we're gonna get into this, I think, right now. They said that CGS, laugh at me, whatever. I mean, is what it is. I'm losing my voice. They said that they're gonna, operate the same way if or not, they were acquired by PSA. And this is gonna be the whole point of the video. This is the whole pretty much discussion of the video. I don't agree with that. Obviously, when a bigger company acquires a smaller company, sure, you could say, oh yeah, they're gonna operate the same as usual. But I mean, let's look at it like this, right? Let's look at it like this. Topps and Fanatics. This is a good one, right? Obviously, Fanatics, the bigger company, acquired Topps, the smaller company. They obviously are not ran as they used to. Obviously, we just talked about this the other day. There's quality control issues, fake autographs, off-centered cards, and things like that. Duplicate 101s. So the fact that PSA is saying that they're going to operate the same as usual is a complete lie. Over time, you may not see it immediately. I don't know when this deal goes into official effect. Obviously, a lot has to happen. Things like that have to get signed, legal procedures, you name it. But I'll tell you one thing. Over time, as long as this partnership, when they get bought out, over time, you're going to see CGS continue, or BGS. SGC. See what I mean? We're losing all these acronyms here, so my apologies. Well, this is the second time or third time we've ever done this. He's keeping me in line. That's literally the reason why he's here. But anyways, over time, they're gonna lose their power, right? Basically, they're gonna get on their hands and knees and obey PSA, basically, right? So, I have my brother here because he made a great point over the grading, and let's say one company's like a 10, one company's a 9. I'll let you take it away from here.
So overall, we're going to circle back to that question that I did ask, and it is it going to become a monopoly? And I'm going to say yes, because on surface level, you have PSA, you have SGC, and you have Beckett. Those are your core 3. And when you take 2 of those companies, put it under one umbrella, it's practically David versus Goliath at that rate. Nobody's going to care about Beckett and getting their cards graded there when they literally took 2 of the biggest grading companies and they joined forces. Now, like we were talking about earlier, they probably won't say that, PSA and SGC are going to just be called PSA. And I'll tell you why. This comes to a great point, as we were about to mention, is crossover grading. That is one of the biggest, topics that, this might play out to, how this deal becomes an issue to a lot of collectors and a lot of people who decide to get their cards graded. Because people are going to want to do crossovers. It only makes sense that you do like a little, as many, subscription services offer a trial, it's like buying a free trial when you submit your cards to SGC for $15 because now they're going to be under the PSA umbrella. When you submit your cards for a fourth of the price and get them back in literally 1/10 of the time, what is that going to inspire people to do? They're going to be like, well, this company that's owned by PSA, which PSA is known for astronomically boosting card prices. If you slap a PSA 10 label on anything, you will see those card prices trump out any other card in the market simply by putting that 10 on it. People are going to get those SGC 10s and say, well, if PSA owns this company, by logic, if I send this 10 to PSA for a crossover grading, I should get a 10. Well, that's where the issues will come, because when people take their cards, put them in the hands of one grader, and then put them into the hands of another grader, you're not guaranteed that your condition of that card when you sent it to SGC is going to maintain, because, they are going to look at it and say, well, what if those people that got those 10s send them over to us, knowing that they think that they can, practically take the cheap way out and guaranteeing themselves free PSA 10s? Well, they're going to be in a pleasant surprise when they get those cards back, and quite frankly, that SGC 10 turns into a PSA 8. And you don't know. People might get those cards back and say, well, hold up a minute. This is owned by PSA, so what is the grading, how is this grading turning out to be if they're owned by PSA and SGC is operated by PSA? How am I getting different grades? People are going to raise eyebrows at the precedent of how these companies operate, because who knows, someone spends $15 on getting their card graded by SGC. Then they spend however many it is to get their card in a crossover. They get those grades back and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. My card just went from an SGC 10 to a PSA 8. The value is gone. If anything, I'm lucky to cut my losses on my card being a little less worth in market value, being just raw. Let me send it back to SGC and hope that I get a 10. But at the end of the day, guys, that's 3 different card companies that fondle your cards. I mean, how are we maintaining the condition of these cards when 3 different people, like I said, minimally, are going to be touching your cards? So guys, at the end of the day, there's one big thing here when we look at the monopoly side and the crossover side. Every dollar you spend is going to PSA. Don't get it twisted. These companies may say they're operating differently, but they're not. Every dollar you send, since PSA now owns both companies, will be sent into PSA's hands. So when you spend that $15 initially, then send that money back over the PSA to get a reholder to get those cards back in a lower grade, and you send it back to SGC hoping that you get that 10 back. You just put 3 times the amount of money into trying to make a profit. And that's where they are going to get a lot of you guys who think that you can send your cards in for crossovers and take the easy way out. So, how is that going to be perceived in the public image that, the grading has no precedent? They can just do what they want. The grades can be all over the place, all over the table, but the money is all going to PSA. What's your thoughts?
Well, like I said a couple minutes ago, I'll tell you this. The fact that they claim that they are operating under both different umbrellas, I think is complete BS. The fact that one company is going to charge, what's the charge for a SGC grade, right?
$15
$15
for a 5
right?
to 10 day turnaround.
That's great. To me, that's great.
3-month turnaround.
And it's funny, right?
On a $25
It's funny. I literally asked him right before we started this video. I wanted to grade this, right? I wanted to grade this. And this is an off-topic conversation right now, but PSA apparently charges $20 to ship your card back, right? Again, I don't grade. I obviously don't grade. That's why I have him here, because he has graded a lot of cards, and that's why he is here, because he knows a lot more than I do. But the fact of the matter is this: the fact that it charges $20 to send back a card, which, by the way, it does not take $20 to ship back. You're looking at about a $6 maximum to ship your card back. So really, that $25 price to grade, add an additional $15 onto that, you're looking at about $40 to grade your card, as well as that shipping, obviously. Obviously, you have SGC as well, which is a lot cheaper. I personally, if I were ever to grade a card, I literally asked him before this video started if I wanted to grade that Ellie Aqua. And honestly, the fact of the matter is this. I firmly do believe over time, it will not be immediate, obviously. Things like this are going to take over time. But I do think PSA, in the long grand scheme of things, is going to ruin the hobby one way or another. The fact that they have combined with the second biggest grading company in the world is very alarming. Very alarming, because ultimately they have the say now to do whatever they want. Because guess what? Now they do not have competition. That is the biggest takeaway you should take away from this video, if anything else. There is no competition for PSA no more. Unless one of these other companies step up, which I doubt, highly doubt will happen. So again, same thing can be said with the Fanatics and Topps partnership and the licensing. They have exclusivity, basically, right? They're a monopoly, right? They basically are the only ones doing what they're doing. And you see in real time, with these videos and online, what they are doing, and they mess up time and time again. I have a bad feeling the same thing is going to be said about PSA and SGC moving forward. So that's pretty much all I got for you, unless you have anything else to say.
I mean, we're looking at surface level here, and we saw earlier in the week, if you don't remember, just a week ago, this week, we were talking about PSA not holding Anthony Richardson autographs. I think Grip did make a video on...
I didn't.
I think you did mention the fact
I
that
did
they
mention
were
it. I did
being
mention it.
investigated.
I did mention it, yes.
And, we saw how PSA handled that. And if you don't know how they handle it, basically, you had the self-proclaimed card guru or collectible guru, Eric Whiteback, go on there and go on X and say that he was in contact with someone who said that the autographs are official. And what did PSA do? Took him for his word and said, okay, we're reholdering those cards because your hobby influencers said that they are official autographs. Guys, there's no precedent here. There is nobody to keep these people in check. There's no checks and balances. At the end of the day, you have people at PSA, and they're looking at this whole acquisition with nothing but money bags. They know that people are going to just send cards after cards. You have all of your people who look to make a cheap flip on anything they pull or anything they get their hands on, and they have absolutely no sort of checks and balances because they just simply go by he said or she said, and there's truly no sort of people keeping these card collecting company, grading companies in check. You send off your cards, you blindly believe anybody random on the internet claiming that they know something that these companies should be making official statements about.
I want to ask you something. Not topic at all, but I talked about this in like a video about 5 days ago. Speaking of card influencers, because you brought up a whole nother can of worms now. I want to get your opinion on this before we wrap this video up. A lot of card influencers on Twitter are happy that this base set for Series 1 is a lower graded set, obviously, with this black border. But the catch is, a lot of these cards, as we have seen with your fat packs that you bought, are damaged. What do you think about that?
Guys, well, coming from someone who, if they didn't pull a Mike Trout home field advantage, would have been out $120 over 4 boxes in 3 fat packs of, retail cards, I pulled a damaged Ellie De La Cruz. Damaged. Right off the top. It was the first card in the pack damaged. But, why these hobby influencers are saying this is because they are directly working with these card companies.
Exactly.
And these card companies are directly working with your graders.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, they're looking at people like us, and they are laughing.
Exactly.
We are giving them our money. Whether you are a card grading company or a card printing company like PSA, Topps, whether you're SGC, whether you are Panini, it's one general consumer that they're dealing with. And that's why they're getting these influencers that spread hobby positivity And they're trying to make excuses saying that these things are okay, because at the end of the day, anyone who sends their cards and, fondles their cards through 5 different people's hands at grading facilities are going to end up profiting the most. They only care about the people who give them the most money. That's what you can take away from this all. At the end of the day, if you're not filling these people's pockets, they could care less. They could care less for you who just went to Walmart looking for a fat pack and bought it, got all of your cards in your corners dinged. They couldn't care, but they will give those people who say, well, at the end of the day, it's good for you guys who want to keep spending more and more and more money to grade your cards, to keep, buying those packs, ripping, hoping you get that cheap flip. They care about you guys, because at the end of the day, if you do get a 10, you're sitting on big bank. So that's who they care about. They care about the people who spend the most money, and people like Grip, people like me, people like you who go into the Walmart and buy your retail. They don't care what your cards and what condition they come in, because at the end of the day, you're not the one filling up their pockets.
So the last thing I'll say is this. Said some people didn't believe me in the comment section. You're going to hear it from the horse's mouth. Were your cards and all your fat packs damaged?
Absolutely.
You heard it there.
They came out damaged. You had, whether it was black chipping, whether it was bent corners, I pulled out my Ellie. Not only was there chipping, the whole left corner was bent in half. People, they don't care about you. And that's why we need to put our foot down. Because this is just all these collecting companies, the printers, the distribution companies, the graders. They're all looking at one consumer, which is me, which is Grip, which is you, and they don't care. They know they're getting our money. They know that they can pull anything out of under the rug. They just don't care at the end of the day, because we're not the ones that keep fondling our cards, sending them in, hoping we get that 10, because that's, at the end of the day, what these people care about.
So that's pretty much all we got for you. That's pretty much all we got for you in this video. He obviously took the most of the video. I was just here for this video. If you like this style of content, be ready, because guess what? When Topps is acquired when Topps acquires the NFL license, you're going to see a lot of my brother on these videos with the top 10s and things like that. So, all right, I'll leave it up to you. Of course, as you know, we open a pack here at the end of the video, every single video. Do I open a hanger box or a jumbo fat pack from a jumbo box?
Hanger.
All right, let's see. Here we go. I ain't going to hold my breath. A lot of people have gotten good hanger boxes. I, unfortunately...
we practically went into the Walmart, maybe besides, 3 hangers missing, we bought every one.
Yeah, I bought literally every
based off
one.
of what he's pulled and based off of what I pulled, the only thing to take away almost a whole case of your whole row of hangers of retail is I got 1 home field advantage.
All right, here we go.
You may be lucky to hit a home field advantage.
Trying to look through the thing here. I don't see anything. I don't see anything good. I don't see anything good. So let's see. I have still yet to pull a retail parallel, by the way, out of $7.99 or $9.99, the blue or the purple. I have yet to pull one of them, which is very concerning. I have opened, I would like to say about $250 worth of retail. Seriously, like no joke. We've seen all these base cards. I'm just gonna flip through them very, very quickly. Quinn Priester, Pirate, of course, PC, Hunter Green, Brandon Marsh. He follows me everywhere with parallels and autographs. Not really seeing much here again. And I will say, you have to turn your cards around. Obviously, the one-on-ones and everything like that. Connor Joe, Ellie De La Cruz. That card looks fine to me. Vogelbach, Pirate. Andy Rodriguez, that's like literally the 7th base card I've gotten of his. He literally comes up right after Ellie sets high. Nixon Zell. All right, here we go. So home field advantage, Bobby Witt Jr. to start.
No,
either way. Joe Jacquez, rookie. That's.
We got a pitcher.
Pitcher's cool. He's in the rain. That's pretty cool, right? Listen, it's better than nothing. Astros, no, that's pretty cool. Kind of a color match, kind of not. Same time. Shane Bieber, it's only the 2nd yellow I've pulled at him.
So let me pause you there. as Grip complains about all the time when I'm listening to him record these videos, 3 straight parallels of just pitchers.
Yeah, it's literally terrible, dude. Literally terrible. Peaker Armstrong, Mookie Betts, base. So
besides the home field advantage, we got skunked.
I mean, literally, I kid you not, like, we opened all this stuff, and if you would see the mound of base cards I have next to me, we're going to open one more pack. I usually like to end the video off on a good note, and I know we're going to get at least something in this. So we're going to open a Fanatic Series 1 pack, because at least I know I'm getting a parallel. I mean, obviously I got yellows in that pack, but I do like the Aquas. The Aquas, I will say, are nice. And speaking of which, I will say, literally, look, I pulled a Jazz Chisholm again, literally 2 seconds later. I mean, you guys know I hate stars of the MLB. The parallels, or the, what's it called? The, what do we got here? That could be something, right? I don't know. Let's see. I mean, I don't hold my breath for literally anything. So let's see. Bethancourt, White, Zach Allen, Gonsolin, Dylan Cease. Should have been a Pirate. Should have been traded to the Pirates. Royce Lewis. This is the 3rd time I pulled this card too, by the way. I kid you not. I literally pulled 3 of this exact same card. Royce Lewis. Yeah, I literally have 3 of these. Taylor Rogers, Quinn Priester, another Quinn Priester, Nick Pivetta, pitcher again,
guys.
And Jazz Chisholm literally just pulled again. So either way, I'm getting out of here. Hopefully you guys liked this video. Did not expect this video to be 25 minutes plus long, but hopefully you guys stuck through. Like I said, big shout out to my brother for joining me on this video, because honestly, without him, I probably would have crumbled and fell. Because obviously, as you could tell, I don't know much about grading, but he does. That's why I brought him in for this video as an expertise take. So either way, guys, appreciate all y'all who stuck through this video, watched the entire thing. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, you know the drill, and I'll see you guys in the next video.